This Spore Servant statistics presented here use a Quaggoth as the base creature. Alright, first off, let's just take a look right at the... let's compare the two right away here and see what we have. So we have 13 AC, the same amount of hit points. The stats are all more or less the same. The intelligence, wisdom, and charisma dropped. Meanwhile, the strength, dex, and con are the same. Lost its skills. Damage immunities are gone. Condition immunities are more. Its Wounded Fury is gone, and it has a multi-attack. The same multi-attack. Okay. But this one is a challenge rating 1 for the Spore Servant, where the original is a challenge rating 2. Alright, so this could be a good way to get a lesser Quaggoth if we needed it for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Spore Servant version and see what we get for its stats. So starting off, we have 13 AC. It's a medium plant and has 68 hit points, or 68 hit dice, with a 16 constitution, 6 wisdom, 1 charisma, and should be a CR1. And as I suggested before, with nothing else going on in the skills or monster traits section, let's just jump right down into the actions for the Quaggoth Spore Servant and see what we have. Well, we have a multi-attack of 2 claw attacks, and the claw attack is a +5 to hit with, let's see here, 6.5 slashing damage. So we can easily multiply that out for a total of 13 points of damage. And sure enough, our Quaggoth Spore Servant is a CR1, luckily. So taking a look here, we actually have a DCR of 1/4 because of the low hit points and low AC. And I say low hit points and AC in air quotes. While we have a very high OCR of 2. And of course, when we average that out, we would get 2.25 to 1.125, and we just round down to a CR1. So luckily, the Quaggoth Spore Servant was nice and quick, and is actually an even rated monster. So then, in the same sense, we can also use this to look at the Quaggoth normally, since we pretty much have everything in there already to begin with. So while we're at it, why not just look at the Quaggoth as a CR2 and add in anything for there? Alright, so the only thing we really need to worry about here is adding in Wounded Fury. While it has 10 hit points or fewer, the Quaggoth has advantage on attack rolls. In addition, it deals an extra 7 points of damage to any target it hits with a melee attack. Alright, well, let's go ahead and throw in the Wounded Fury and increase the damage of 1 round. Oh, so it's 1 round. Okay. So let's see if that modified it at all. Wow, yeah, sure enough. That last-ditch effort for our Quaggoth does give it that little bit extra to bring it down to a CR2 from the CR1 of the Spore Servant version. So just to review, the Quaggoth itself normally has 13 AC, also has 45 hit points. It's got 68 hit dice, a constitution score of 16, and should be a CR2. Now, also on top of that, having the multi-attack of 2 claw attacks for the regular version, and a plus hit of 5, we have the 13 damage just like the Spore Servant. And the addition of the Wounded Fury, giving it 7 points of damage, does bring it up to an average of 15 damage per round for those first 3 rounds of combat, which puts us into the CR2 range, but actually brings it up to an OCR 3, so pretty dangerous, especially when it's about to die. And any players that are watching this and go up to face a Quaggoth should know that when it's near death, you need to kill it right away, otherwise they get an additional damage, plus making it easier to hit with that advantage.